My best friend is the heroine of a forced love romance. Zhou Xiang, the male lead, destroyed her career, killed her first love, and imprisoned her in a villa as his treasure. I am the heroine of a tragic romance, even more miserable than her. The male lead, Shen Zi, killed my child, damaged my kidney, ruined my family, and treated me as a plaything. My best friend and I wanted to change our fates. Later, Zhou Xiang and Shen Zi, the two peak male leads, fell in love with each other. My best friend and I were high school classmates. I always felt we were particularly destined. Her name is Zhang Jing, and she is the heroine of a domineering CEO forced love novel. Zhang Jing has a pitiful background, growing up in an orphanage. She has a childhood friend, Lu Qingyuan, both orphans who supported each other since childhood. They became both family and lovers. The male lead, Zhou Xiang, fell in love with Zhang Jing at first sight. He not only separated her from Lu Qingyuan, but also imprisoned Jingjing. To better control her, Zhou Xiang broke the hand she used for painting, destroyed her career, and gently said "be good" with an indulgent expression. As the president's wife of the Zhou Corporation, you can have anything you want. No need to earn money yourself. Lu Qingyuan tried countless ways to rescue Zhang Jing. The two tried to escape but were caught by Zhou Xiang. Zhou Xiang broke Lu Qingyuan's leg and imprisoned Zhang Jing in the villa, all under the pretense of jealousy. When Zhou Xiang tried to kill Lu Qingyuan, Zhang Jing finally compromised and submitted, begging him to spare Lu Qingyuan. In the end, Lu Qingyuan was sent abroad. He and Zhang Jing never saw each other again, and Zhang Jing became Zhou Xiang's caged bird, gradually falling in love with him through daily interactions. What she didn't know was that Zhou Xiang had never intended to let Lu Qingyuan live. Her lover had long been thrown into the sea to feed the fish. She would never know this secret. My name is Bai Yu, a wealthy heiress, even more tragic than Zhang Jing. I am the heroine of a tragic romance, and the male lead is Shen Zi. His parents and mine were old friends. When I was young, the Shen family went bankrupt, and the Bai family didn't offer help. Eventually, Mr. and Mrs. Shen committed suicide by jumping off a building. Shen Zi disappeared without a trace. Because we didn't help, he harbored deep resentment, even blaming my family for his parents' deaths. Years later, Shen Zi became the richest man in the capital. The first thing he did upon his return was bankrupt my family, drive my parents to their deaths, and send my brother to a mental hospital. I became his plaything. He not only tortured and humiliated me daily but also allowed secondary female characters to bully me, female leads 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 alike. When I was pregnant, he forced me to abort the child, then compelled me to conceive again and abort once more. Later, a supporting female character forged a medical record claiming she had kidney failure. Without hesitation, Shen Zi removed my kidney for the supporting character. I died on the operating table. After my death, Shen Zi suddenly uncovered the truth of the past. It turned out that his family's bankruptcy stemmed from his father's misdeeds, embezzling public funds for shoddy projects and defaulting on employee wages. In reality, my parents had provided the Shens with a sum of money, intended to help them rebuild their lives, but Mr. Shen squandered it on gambling. My brother and I were entirely unaware of my parents' act of financial aid to the Shen family. My parents died prematurely, driven to their graves by Shen Zi's resentment, before they could clarify the truth. After my death, Shen Zi suddenly realized he had fallen in love with me and was consumed by remorse. He eliminated the secondary female characters who had wronged me, including those labeled 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, to avenge my suffering. In the end, he commanded vast fortunes but spent his life in lonely anguish. These two novels are sister works by the same author, and I feel like confronting this writer. Zhang Jing is Zhou Xiang's cherished treasure, while I am Shen Zi's plaything. Can we not be treated as mere objects? After Zhang Jing and I awakened to our fates, we began attempting to alter the narrative's trajectory. I urged my parents to track down Shen Zi's whereabouts. We planned to first reason with him and then take firmer measures. We revealed to him the truth about the Shen family's bankruptcy. Z, we did give your father a sum of money back then, but he gambled it all away. I don't believe it. This must be forged, he retorted, refusing to listen. La 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 la, I won't hear it. I refused to believe it. When gentle persuasion failed, we resorted to tougher tactics. During Shen Zi's entrepreneurial journey, the Bai family tried to obstruct his progress, yet to no avail. Shen Zi seemed blessed by Providence, fortunately befriending industry magnates who consistently provided him with capital, resources, and connections. Meanwhile, the Bai family's enterprises gradually declined. Zhang Jing fared no better. In the original plot, he met Zhou Xiang during his junior year of college while working part-time at a bubble tea shop. Zhou Xiang was instantly smitten, but at the time he was entangled in family power struggles and had no bandwidth for romance. 3 years later, after fully assuming control of the Zhou family, he stormed into Zhang Jing's wedding ceremony and carried him away. After awakening, Zhang Jing did not go to the milk tea shop for part-time work. She no longer drank milk tea, staying in the school all day long and not even ordering takeout. However, the plot could not be resisted. When Zhou Xiang gave a lecture at the university, he still met Zhang Jing and fell in love at first sight. Thinking of our miserable future, Zhang Jing and I cried in each other's arms. How could two crazy people talk about love? Why should they harm normal people? Taking a step back, wouldn't it be okay to let Zhou Xiang and Shenzi be together? I suddenly had an idea. Well, maybe it's not impossible, but this is simply a fantasy. We decided to use the most direct method. Smash them. In the Bai family's villa, we sharpened knives and Zhang Jing looked for ropes. Zhang Jing advised me. Yeah, why don't I go alone? After all, I'm an orphan and you still love your family. Killing those two crazy people will make everyone happy. She was really determined, but I couldn't agree. Jing, let me go. What about Lu Qingyuan if something happens to you? My family is rich, and I can ask my father to find a way to reduce my sentence. When I get out, they can still support me. Even if I die, my brother can provide for my parents in their old age. My parents and brother, along with Lu Qingyuan, found me chopping pork vigorously to practice knife skills, while Zhang Jing was studying which rope was stronger. We finally decided to act together, thinking that we could have each other's company in prison as good sisters for life. My mother shouted. It's not that serious yet. Lu Qingyuan said. I have a better idea. We stopped our actions, calmed down, drank tea and ate buns. Lu Qingyuan, engaged in scientific research, used a computer to display a bunch of codes and formulas I couldn't understand. I plan to develop a chip that can tamper with people's memories and transfer emotions. Zhou Xiang and Shenzi are both children of luck, and the plot develops according to their thoughts. So we should change their thoughts at the root. I was worried. Is this reliable? Zhang Jing comforted me. This is the best way so far. I believe in Qingyuan. There were still 3 years before Zhou Xiang would forcefully take Zhang Jing, and 3 years before Shenzi would return to repay kindness with enmity. So my parents invested money, and Lu Qingyuan contributed his efforts to secretly set up a laboratory. 3 years later, Zhou Xiang ended the family infighting and successfully became the head of the family. In the original plot, the first thing he did was kidnap Zhang Jing. The Shen family also developed with the help of many big shots. Shenzi said the classic line, "It's getting cold. It's time for the Bai family to go bankrupt." My parents were so angry that they fell ill, and Shenzi even prevented us from taking them to the hospital, causing my parents to die of anger. My brother, a normal person, was locked in a mental hospital. Shenzi threatened me with my brother and intimidated me. By you from today on, I will be your nightmare. However, Zhang Jing and I did not wait for them to come. We took the initiative. Before Shenzi could act, I invited him to a coffee shop. He had no precautions because the male lead was always confident and proud, and the female lead was weak. He was ready to see me kneel before him, begging him to spare the Bai family. When Shenzi arrived at the coffee shop and found no one there, he couldn't leave. My brother's bodyguards were there, and they knocked him out with a sledgehammer. The situation with Zhou Xiang was simpler. Zhang Jing had long been interested in him. She went to the company building to apply for a job and happened to meet Zhou Xiang that day. She was hired on the spot and promoted to president's secretary. Yes, the domineering president was so unreasonable. After work, Zhang Jing shyly invited him to have coffee together. Zhou Xiang, with an excited and greasy face, wanted to see what tricks his canary was playing. It was the same coffee shop, and once he entered he couldn't leave. Underground in the coffee shop was a laboratory. On the left lay Zhou Xiang, on the right lay Shenzi, and in the middle stood Lu Qingyuan in a white lab coat. The chip was implanted into their bodies, controlling their emotions and thoughts. When Shenzi woke up again, he found himself sitting in the coffee shop with warm coffee in front of him. He thought for a long time but couldn't remember why he was there, so he simply went home. When Zhou Xiang opened his eyes and looked at Zhang Jing in front of him, he frowned and asked, "Secretary, why are you here?" Zhang Jing shyly and artificially pulled his sleeve. "Oh, Mr. Zhou, didn't you promise to have coffee and watch a movie with me?" Zhou Xiang disgustedly shook her off. "Get away. Don't you know I have a cleanliness habit?" Zhang Jing looked about to cry. "Enough. Don't disturb me during non-working hours. You're fired." When he got up to leave, he happened to meet Shenzi at the door. His pupils shrank and his heart throbbed slightly, feeling a strong interest in the man in front of him. Love at first sight. Shenzi seemed to have become normal suddenly. His memory of the Bai family was basically erased, leaving only a few vague fragments. When he learned that he was going to take revenge on the Bai family, he was puzzled. Although the Bai family has never helped the Shen family, they haven't harmed us either. He didn't remember any connection between the two families. After Zhou Xiang fell in love at first sight with Shenzi, he began to frequently enter his life. First, he met and chatted at banquets, then dined together under the pretext of discussing cooperation. In the restaurant, Shenzi was surprised to see the large profits the listed group conceded in the contract. Why would Zhou Xiang condescend to cooperate with me and concede so much profit? Sensing his confusion, Zhou Xiang smiled gracefully. "I admire Mr. Shan and hope to be friends with you. These small sums of money are insignificant." Shenzi felt a little proud, then jealous. Why did he feel like he had received a windfall, while in Zhou Xiang's eyes it was just pocket change? Seeing the other party's every move exuding noble family upbringing during meals, Shenzi felt deep inferiority. He hated even more that the Shun family had gone bankrupt long ago, and he had suffered so much since childhood. Why was Zhou Xiang so lucky, not only born into a better family but also a noble son for so many years, with a much higher social status now? His newly founded Shun company was indeed developing well, but he was just a first-generation entrepreneur, while the Zhou family was an old noble family with a foundation built up over generations. Shunzi thought resentfully, why is the world so unfair? In fact, in the original plot, Shunzi's hatred for the Bai family ultimately stemmed from jealousy. The Shun and Bai families had a deep friendship and equal status. Shunzi and I often played together. He couldn't accept the gap when the Shun family went bankrupt while my family remained prosperous. Now facing Zhou Xiang, he felt the same way. He pretended to be enthusiastic about Zhou Xiang, wanting to cling to him for cooperation and benefits, but he disdained him in his heart. One day, I will trample him underfoot and make him taste the true way of being dependent on others. Zhou Xiang originally wanted to play with Shunzi like hunting prey, until news of Shunzi's engagement came. At the engagement banquet, Shunzi and the second female lead, Miss Li, were receiving everyone's blessings on the stage when Zhou Xiang suddenly broke in with a group of bodyguards. This engagement cannot happen. He is mine. Standing in the center, he declared Baqiowai. The guests were Haran. Recognizing him as the head of the Zhou family, they didn't dare to provoke him and secretly worried for Shunzi. Hasn't Mr. Zhou always been indifferent to women? He even has a cleanliness habit. A woman who threw herself at him was thrown out in disgust. Although dissatisfied with the disrupted engagement banquet, Shunzi remembered his acquaintance with Zhou Xiang and patiently walked up to him. Mr. Zhou, Xiao Xiao is my fiancé. Isn't this inappropriate? Unexpectedly, Zhou Xiang, who was always cold as ice, smiled gently and raised his hand to lift Shunzi's chin. I'm looking for you. Shunzi opened and closed his mouth, as if his throat was stuck. Then he angrily slapped away Zhou Xiang's hand. Everyone exclaimed, no wonder Mr. Zhou is indifferent to women. Shunzi was forcibly taken away from the engagement scene by bodyguards and tied into a car. Let me go. This is kidnapping. I'll sue you. I'm a man. Zhou Xiang looked at Li Xiaoxiao, who was at a loss on the stage, and then at her parents. I'm taking Shunzi away. If you want compensation, go to my assistant. You can ask for anything but don't ever think about Shunzi again. Or I'll make your family leave the capital. In the Zhou family's manor in the bedroom, Shunzi was stripped naked, his hands and feet bound by chains, unable to move. Zhou Xiang, wearing a bathrobe with half-wet hair and holding a glass of red wine, looked down at Shunzi, who was naked and trembling. Baby, don't blame me. You were too disobedient. Faced with such nakedness, Shunzi was ashamed and angry. You bastard. Let me go. You pervert. I like women. Zhou Xiang's hand stroked his chest. So what? There's nothing I can't get that I want. He poured the remaining half-glass of wine into Shunzi's mouth. Be good and drink this. You'll feel good. After all, Shunzi was a man stronger than a woman, and easily hurt Zhou Xiang when struggling. Now he was flushed and weak, with the spiked wine taking effect on both of them. After a day and night, Shunzi felt like he was going to die. He was delirious and had a high fever. Zhou Xiang called the doctor. If you can't cure him, all of you will pay zang. After an 4, Shunzi's fever subsided. Zhou Xiang tortured him for another night, and Shunzi fell into a coma. The doctor said, I've told you he needs rest and shouldn't be too. Zhou Xiang said coldly, know your place. You just need to cure him. When Shunzi finally woke up, Zhou Xiang called an ambulance in the middle of the night again. All of you will pay zang if he's not cured. In the original plot, Zhou Xiang treated Zhang Jing the same way. The domineering president had 7 times a night, and some even commented that it was so sweet. But shouldn't such things make both people happy? In the end, only Zhou Xiang was happy, and Zhang Jing was like a tool to satisfy the male lead's sexual desire. What's more, Zhang Jing was forced, often left bruised all over and unable to get out of bed. It's ridiculous. I couldn't get out of bed the next day after climbing a mountain, with sore legs and waist, even struggling to go to the toilet. At that time I wanted to die. Shunzi was admitted to the Zhou family's private hospital. After waking up, he didn't say a word, just quietly looking out the window with no light in his eyes. When Zhou Xiang fed him, he refused to eat. Zhou Xiang choked his neck and asked, Am I not good to you? Is it so painful to be with me? Seeing the other party still silent, he angrily slapped him. Speak. Are you deaf? Then he realized what he had done and gently touched Shunzi's face. It's my fault. I shouldn't have hit you. He picked up the porridge and fed it to Shunzi's mouth, gently saying, How can you not eat? I'll feel Xinteng. Shunzi finally spoke in a hoarse voice. Let me go. Zhou Xiang's forehead veins bulged, and he hun-hun threw the bowl on the ground. You still want to leave? I don't want to eat. Then don't eat. Zhou Xiang left and ordered the guards not to give Shunzi food, wanting to make him suffer and learn. The guards immediately understood and no longer cared. They made him give himself injections and didn't notice when the medicine bottle was empty. The guards also mocked him. Mr. Zhou is just playing with you. In the original plot, Zhang Jing went through the same thing. How could the male lead save the female lead if she wasn't in trouble? 3 days later, Zhou Xiang came to see him. The guards at the door didn't speak, looking guilty. Zhou Xiang pushed the door open and saw Shunzi crawling toward the toilet on the floor. He was furious. Are you all dead? Who allowed you to treat him like this? Mr. Zhou domineeringly protected his husband. At this moment, Shunzi couldn't hold on anymore and lay on the ground, shedding shameful tears. Zhouxiang, what did I do to offend you? Why are you treating me like this? Zhouxiang Shinteng Ly picked him up, took care of his physical needs, put him on the bed, and kissed him affectionately. He turned around and fired those people, ordering his assistant to severely balfo them. See, I've punished them for you. Don't be afraid. I won't let anyone hurt you again. Be good and eat something, okay? Finally, Si couldn't hold on and drank the porridge fed by Zhouxiang. Zhouxiang smiled satisfactorily and said meaningfully, that's right. As long as you're obedient, you won't suffer. I'll love you well. It was a process of domestication. Shunzi was taken back to the Zhou family's manor. He no longer opposed Zhouxiang. Every time he mentioned leaving, Zhouxiang would go crazy. He wondered why no one had looked for him after being away for so long. Although Shunzi had no family, he was still the company's boss. Zhouxiang, I still need to work. The company can't do without me. Zhouxiang smiled and soothed him. Don't worry. I've found someone to take over the Shun company. What? A sense of crisis rose in Shunzi's heart. He was not a person full of love. He loved power, money, and status like an emperor. When he was comfortably sitting on the throne, holding power in his hands and surrounded by 3,000 beauties in the harem, someone suddenly usurped the throne, took everything from him, confined him in the harem, and said he would grant him the supreme position of empress. Then in a condescending tone they said, so many people want to sleep with me, but I only love you. You should be extremely grateful. As for the throne and power, you don't need them. Just please me. Having me is no different from having power. Now Shunzi felt that Zhouxiang was trying to take away his company. Are you crazy? Shun Corporation is my life's work. How dare you try to steal it from me? Zhouxiang chuckled. It's just a Shun Corporation. As long as you're obedient and satisfy me, I can give you anything you want. Shun Corporation is still yours. I just had someone take over. You don't need to work anymore. I don't want you to see people outside. You only need me. Shunzi directly slapped him. Why Zhouxiang? I have my own career. I'm not here to be your kept man. Facing Shunzi's anger, Zhouxiang didn't empathize. Instead, he touched his slapped cheek and smiled. In the original plot, no matter how close Zhang Jing was to being driven crazy, in Zhouxiang's eyes, it was like a kitten extending its claws, which he adored. Ultimately, because he was the Changjia and you were the Ruojia, he knew clearly that you could never threaten him. He couldn't understand your pain, didn't care about your needs, and ignored your human rights. Shunzi slapped him again, but Zhouxiang still didn't move until the other man grabbed his neck and shouted, go die. Then he raised his hand to break Shunzi's wrist. Shunzi had just recovered from a serious illness and was already weak. Now his face was pale, and his hand hurt as if it were broken. Shunzi, if you go too far, it won't be fun. He could zongrong the kitten to scratch him appropriately, even amuse himself by teasing it, but when the kitten was too disobedient, he would be displeased, not because he was afraid but because he was annoyed. Those in power would not allow anyone to provoke their dignity. If you dare to anger me again, I won't mind making Shun Corporation go bankrupt. Anyway, I'm not afraid of losing this little money. Zhouxiang held the thing he cared about most. After all, Shun Corporation and Zhou family had 3 projects in cooperation. If I withdraw the investment now, do you think Shun Corporation can still survive? Zhouxiang leaned gently on the sofa, looking down at his prey from a superior position. The door is there. Do you want dignity or freedom? You choose. He presented the Li Haiyan chips, giving Shunzi a path he had to choose. I remembered the words in the original text. Zhangjing, do you want Lu Qingyuan to live, or do you want freedom? You choose. At this moment, Shunzi truly realized his situation. I'm sorry, I dare not anymore. I'll listen to you. Kneel, Zhouxiang said lightly. What? Shunzi looked at him in disbelief. If you dare to provoke me, you must bear the consequences. You'll learn your lesson only after punishment. Shunzi didn't understand. Wasn't Zhouxiang supposed to like him? But he couldn't ask. In the end, he knelt at Zhouxiang's feet in humiliation. Zhouxiang stood up, lifted his chin and chuckled. That's a good boy. Then Shunzi figured out Zhouxiang's temperament, and no longer asked for trouble. Zhouxiang doted on him and he enjoyed the best life. Whatever he wanted to eat, the chef would make it. Whatever he wanted to buy, someone would deliver it the next day. The Zhou family was wealthy, and Zhouxiang never restricted his spending. A month later, Zhouxiang's parents came. Zhou's father shouted angrily, I want to see what kind of seductress has confused my son like this. Zhouxiang was not there, and Shunzi didn't dare to offend the people in front of him. Mr. Zhou, I was forced. Zhouxiang imprisoned me here, he explained awkwardly. Nonsense. My son could never take a liking to a man. Mrs. Zhou stepped forward and slapped Shunzi. You look like a seductive slut. You must have used evil methods to confuse my son. Come on, drag this shameless person out and beat him. Let him know that our Zhou family is not something he can climb up to. In the original plot, Zhang Jing was not beaten but thrown into the yard and stripped naked. Until the end, Zhouxiang's parents still looked down on him. Ridiculously, although he was forced in the eyes of outsiders, he was accused of taking the initiative to seduce. At a critical moment, Zhouxiang came back to save the beauty. Mom and Dad, that's enough. Z is mine. He held Shunzi in his arms with Xintang, Did you get bullied? Why didn't you call me? At this moment, Shanzi wanted to die because he felt ashamed. Zhou's father knocked him with a cane. You unfilial son. Do you want to make our Zhou family have no heirs? Mrs. Zhou said with a broken heart. Son, wake up. This bitch is here to seduce you. What kind of woman can't you get? Why do you take a fancy to him? He's as stubborn as a mule. Mom and Dad, please don't interfere in my relationship. Come on, send them out. With that, he directly carried Shanzi upstairs. He gently stroked the scars on Shanzi's body and condescended to apply medicine to him personally, the doctor standing by side. Mr. Zhou is so good to Mr. Shan. The servants in the villa were envious and talked about how lucky Shanzi was. So what if he's a man? Even though his status is humble, young Master Gu never dislikes him. He has won young Master Gu's favor, and now has risen from a sparrow to a phoenix. I advise him to be grateful to young Master Gu and not be ungrateful, or he'll make young Master Gu disgusted. If young Master Lu falls for someone else, he'll cry then. Hearing these words, Shanzi seemed to become depressed again. During the day when Zhou Xiang went to work, he had nothing to do in the villa. Listening to the servants' constant brainwashing, he didn't agree with their words. Although his company was not as big as Zhou's, it was his hard-earned career. He wasn't short of money and could get what he wanted by himself. More importantly, he liked women. He had a beautiful fiancée and countless doichojira. Why should he stay here like a concubine, waiting for Zhou Xiang's favor? He hated even more, so he escaped. His fiancée Li Xiaoxiao had already broken off relations with him, and he didn't dare to go back to the company, which was full of Zhou Xiang's people. So Shenzi went to Lu Chao, the third female lead in the original plot. In Lu Chao's apartment. Chao Chao, please help me. Zhou Xiang is a pervert. Lu Chao was slightly taken aback. Z had been raised by Zhou Xiang to look ruddy and healthy. Chao Chao, can you ask Uncle Lu to help me? As long as we get rid of Zhou Xiang and take back Shen Corporation, we'll get married. Lu Chao hesitated. Previously, she did have feelings for Shenzi. After all, she was destined to marry a man of equal strength through marriage. Shenzi had chosen to engage with the Li family, and now was favored by Zhou Xiang. She didn't dare to offend the Zhou family easily. Seeing the woman not speaking, Shenzi played on her emotions. Chao Chao, in fact, the person I've always liked is you. If you don't believe me, we can be together now. With that, he hugged Lu Zhao and kissed her. Shenzi had ulterior motives. He wanted to see if he could still show his manhood, after being tortured by Zhou Xiang. However, at that moment the door was suddenly kicked open, and Zhou Xiang rushed in with bodyguards. Shenzi, how dare you betray me? The bodyguards controlled the two people in the room. Zhou Xiang had long installed a dingwei on Shenzi for fear that he would escape. Tell me what you did, he said in a gloomy tone. Lu Zhao next to him was already crying. Mr. Zhou, I didn't do anything with him. Why should I believe you? Lu Zhao's face was red with shame. I'm still a girl. I wouldn't do that kind of thing before marriage. Then she remembered something and suddenly flattered Zhou Xiang. Shenzi has never touched a woman. I know this, he's clean. You're the only man he's ever had. This is true because both original novels have the double purity setting. Although this setting is a bit far-fetched, the male lead would be scolded if he's not pure. Although there are female leads 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 around Shenzi, he's only touched by Yu. Although he spent the night with the female supporting characters, nothing happened between them. When Bai Yu and the third female lead were kidnapped at the same time, he chose to save the third female lead. But they were innocent. Although he asked Bai Yu to donate a kidney to the fourth female lead, he didn't love her. Compared to that, Zhou Xiang is at least more natural. After all, he's indifferent to women and has a cleanliness habit towards anyone other than Zhang Jing. Zhou Xiang ordered people to throw Lu Chao out and terminated the contract between the Zhou family and the Lu family. Lu Chao didn't care that this was her home and scrambled away. Zhou Xiang lifted Shenzi's chin. A clean man is good, but you actually thought of betraying me. Shenzi despaired. He knew clearly that no one could save him. You pervert. I won't go back. Let me go. Unfortunately, he was directly knocked out and taken away. Shenzi returned to Zhou Xiang's villa bedroom, where his left foot was chained to the bed. When he woke up, there was a computer in front of him displaying news of Shen Corporation's bankruptcy. Yes, the male lead went bankrupt. The Bai family tried their best to suppress him but failed because he had the male lead halo, but Zhou Xiang was also a male lead. Who was more noble? Shenzi despaired and shouted. He first held the computer and looked at it again and again, then threw it to the ground in disbelief. It was the result of his years of hard work. He had lost his parents since childhood, wandered around, experienced so much suffering, and exhausted his efforts to have today's career. For a project, he stayed up late working overtime. To attract investment, he drank until his stomach bled at the dinner table. With Shen Corporation, he was still the high and mighty President Shen. Without it, he was a poor man with nothing. Why? Why do this to me? Zhou Xiang's voice said coolly, it's a punishment for your disobedience. I thought that with Shen Corporation you always felt you had chips to confront me. Making Yu Wu Soyo will make you understand to rely on me. He gently stroked Shenzi's face. It's just a small company. If you behave well in the future, I can open 10 companies for you. Shenzi slapped his hand away. How can this be the same? This is the result of my hard work. Even if he restarted his career in the future, Outsiders wouldn't believe his efforts. They would only say it was all Mr. Zhou's credit, and Shen Zi was just selling his looks. What President Shen? He was just a gigolo who earned money with his body and fawned on Zhou Xiang. In the original plot, to better control Zhang Jing, Zhou Xiang broke the hand she used for painting and destroyed her art exhibition. Finally, he compensated her with an unlimited credit card, saying, "You don't need to go out to make money with me here." Zhang Jing's hand had old injuries and could no longer be used as flexibly as before, but she still didn't give up painting, even though she could no longer create satisfactory works. In the end, she had fallen in love with Zhou Xiang, and they had a child. To make up for her, Zhou Xiang held a new art exhibition and opened a gallery for her. At that time, Zhang Jing couldn't paint good works and insisted on painting just for love. However, the rich bought her paintings at sky-high prices to please Zhou Xiang, disdainfully whispering, "It's just a favor for Mr. Zhou. What kind of art is this? The painter is just a woman who sells her looks and was lucky enough to catch Mr. Zhou's eye." Zhou Xiang vented his anger by torturing Shen Zi all night, and he was sent to the hospital again, not because he was sick but for what Zhou Xiang was going to do. Shen Zi looked at the doctor in front of him in horror. "Zhou Xiang, don't do anything stupid. I was wrong, really wrong. I'll never dare again." He was truly afraid, crying bitterly, but this was the Zhou family's private hospital, and no one would save him. Zhou Xiang felt some Xintung but was determined. "Zi, although you didn't betray me last time, you weren't on fun. To make you belong only to me, I'll cut off any possibility." With that, he slowly pulled down Shen Zi's pants and picked up a scalpel. Shen Zi's face turned pale, and his body trembled with fear. "Zhou Xiang, believe me. I'll never dare again. I love you. I only love you. I'll only love you from now on." The person on the hospital bed fainted, and the devil's whisper sounded in the room. "No matter what you become, I'll love you." First losing his career, then losing his... Shen Zi truly had no will to live this time. Although he had submitted to Zhou Xiang before, he at least had hope. Now he was only desperate. What could he do even if he escaped? He had nothing. He wanted to die but couldn't find a chance. All sharp objects in the ward were taken away. He was surrounded by surveillance, and his phone was taken by Zhou Xiang. When he went on a hunger strike, Zhou Xiang gave him nutritional injections and forced porridge down his throat. Zhou Xiang went to work in the morning and came back to accompany him at night. The ward played news about Zhou Corporation's press conference. Shen Zi saw Zhou Xiang in a suit on the screen and suddenly remembered his own high-spirited self. Boundless hatred welled up in his heart. Why? It was as if he had found a goal to live for, revenge. Shen Zi no longer sought death. He ate properly, nursed his wounds carefully, and greeted Zhou Xiang with a smiling face every day. Zhou Xiang was delighted that his treasure had finally become obedient. After being discharged from the hospital and returning to the Zhou family villa, Shen Zi seemed like a different person. He catered to Zhou Xiang extremely in bed, even calling him husband affectionately, which made Zhou Xiang overjoyed. No matter how tired or sleepy he was, he had no right to stop until Zhou Xiang was satisfied. He no longer read financial magazines or paid attention to the stock market, but instead studied recipes and tried various ways to cook for Zhou Xiang. His cooking skills were not good, and the soup he made was not delicious, but Zhou Xiang always finished it appreciatively because it was cooked by his beloved. Occasionally, Shen Zi would go shopping accompanied by bodyguards. He spent Zhou Xiang's money buying countless luxury goods and thoughtfully selected suits and ties for the other party. One evening, Shen Zi smelled an unfamiliar perfume on Zhou Xiang and asked angrily, "Are you seeing someone else?" At this, Zhou Xiang only felt happy that his treasure had learned to be jealous. Shen Zi had become a qualified, kept man, and Zhou Xiang no longer restricted his freedom, allowing him to go out at will. Although he still sent people to follow secretly, Shen Zi did not try to escape. From then on, Zhou Xiang completely trusted him and began to take Shen Zi to various banquets, giving him the status of Mrs. Zhou. However, people in the circle looked down on Shen Zi. Is this Shen Zi? He's quite an ordinary man. What does Mr. Zhou see in him? Maybe he's good in bed. Hearing these remarks, Shen Zi's face darkened with a flash of sayi. Then he acted coquettish with Zhou Xiang. "Zhou Xiang Danu, who gave you the audacity to offend my people? Throw these gossipers out." From then on, no one dared to disrespect Shen Zi openly, though everyone ridiculed him behind his back for becoming more and more subservient. Zhou Xiang began to feel guilty for destroying the other's career before, and wanted to open a company for Shen Zi. Shen Zi took the initiative to kiss him. "Why open a company? Isn't it better for you to support me? Besides, all the money I earn is yours." Zhou Xiang chuckled. "How about I be your secretary? I can accompany you during the day, and see if there are any fox spirits in the company trying to seduce you. Except for you, the fox spirit. Who else is there by my side?" In the original plot, Zhou Xiang trusted Zhang Jing completely, allowing her to freely enter his study and office, as she didn't understand business matters. But Shen Zi was different, after all. He had founded a company himself and had real ability. More importantly, he had the male lead aura. As Zhou Xiang's secretary, Shen Zi accessed the company's core. At first, people in the company looked down on him and made things difficult for him, but Zhou Xiang always domineeringly protected him. One day after work, Shen Zi disappeared. Zhou Xiang searched the entire company only to find him locked in a storage room. Shen Zi threw himself into his arms and cried, "Zhang Lin asked me to come here to get something." Zhang Lin, the finance manager and a longtime employee of the company, even had a close relationship with Zhou Xiang's parents. Zhou Xiang cursed, "Bastard! How dare he bully my person? He's tired of living. Forget it. Manager Zhang watched you grow up. He probably thinks I'm not worthy of you. Why don't we break up? You should find someone from a similar background." "Shut up. I decide who's worthy. Don't ever say such things about leaving me again." Zhang Lin was fired. After that, Shen Zi repeated the trick, using various excuses to get rid of several company veterans and replace them with his own people. Zhou Xiang was unaware that Shen Zi had already built his own influence within Zhou Corporation. During the day, Shen Zi accompanied Zhou Xiang at work, gradually mastering the company's core. At night he cooked for Zhou Xiang. 3 years later, the head of the Zhou family fell ill without warning. Shen Zi continued to stew soup at home, smiling meaningfully. He put a packet of powder into the soup, packed it in a thermal box, and sent it to Zhou Xiang in the hospital. At the Bingfang door, Zhou Xiang's assistant was guarding him. "Still refusing to sign?" Shen Zi asked. The assistant shook his head. "He's been starving for 3 days and still won't relent." This assistant was arranged by Shen Zi. The one Zhou Xiang had once trusted most had been fired because Shen Zi once praised that person's good looks. Shen Zi smiled sinisterly. "It doesn't matter. I have a way." In the Bingfang, Zhou Xiang had messy hair and smelled unpleasant, no longer resembling the proud son of heaven. "Are you hungry? I brought your favorite soup." Zhou Xiang opened his mouth, uttering weak, hoarse sounds but unable to speak clearly. His eyes were half closed, and blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. "Drink some. You haven't eaten in days." Zi fed him with a spoon, but Zhou Xiang Jinnanda turned his head away. He knew the soup was poisoned. Shen Zi did not force him but took out his phone and played a video. "Take a look at this." In the video, Zhou Xiang's parents were tied to beds in a psychiatric hospital, surrounded by several delirious people who laughed and drooled while holding needles and repeatedly stabbing them. The couple's mouths were stuffed with rags, and they emitted muffled cries for help from their throats. Zhou Xiang finally reacted. "Shen Zi, those are my parents. Was I not good to you? I loved you so much. How could you do this to me?" Tears of regret flowed from the corners of his eyes. Shen Zi slapped him. "Yes, you were too good to me. Sign the share transfer agreement honestly, and I'll release your parents." Zhou Xiang despaired. "Did you ever truly love me?" "Shen Zi, I loved you." He slapped him again. "Every moment with you made me wu biuoxin." At this moment, Zhou Xiang seemed to embrace a tragic path. "I can give you the company, but you must promise me one condition." "Speak," Shen Zi said impatiently. "Marry me." Shen Zi agreed and took him abroad to get a marriage certificate. Part of the reason was that same-sex marriage was not allowed in China, but even if it were, Shen Zi would not have married there, as he did not want to acknowledge Zhou Xiang as his partner. Shen Zi completely took control of the company, publicly claiming that Zhou Xiang was unwell and needed quiet rest, while actually locking him in the villa and torturing him daily. Shen Zi did not want Zhou Xiang to die easily, as it would not ease his hatred, so he administered slow-acting poison while hiring doctors to keep him alive. To humiliate Zhou Xiang, he brought different women home every day and intimate with them in front of him. At night, the villa would always echo with the wails of a bitter woman. "Ha ha ha, Shen Zi, so what if you bring these women here? What have you achieved? You will always belong to me alone. As long as I'm alive, I will always be your man. They're all mistresses." Zhou Xiang alternated between arrogance and tearful pleadings. "Shen Zi, did you ever love me? I was so good to you, why did you betray me? Even if you have wealth and power, I curse you to lose your loved ones forever." Later, annoyed by his noise, Shen Zi poisoned him mute. Unable to do anything with women, he ordered them to humiliate and torture Zhou Xiang daily. In the original plot, the unawakened Baiyu had also suffered this. With Shen Zi's moishir, anyone could humiliate her, and even passing dogs seemed to trample on her. Zhou Xiang lingered on in that small room until one day, a taunting woman revealed, "Zi says he wants to have a child with me and marry me. Then you, the yellow-faced husband, will be abandoned." Shen Zi did want a child. Although he could not perform, there was still a chance with IVF. Zhou Xiang went crazy trying to see Shen Zi. He could not speak, but his lips moved as if saying, "Why choose someone else? Can't I have your child?" Shen Zi kicked him away in disgust. Disgusting man. That night, Shen Zijali brought a woman to flaunt in front of Zhou Xiang. Though they did nothing, it was enough to anger Zhou Xiang. Suddenly the villa caught fire. The servants escaped in time from the first floor, but the 3 people in the second-floor room were stunned by the thick smoke. The woman worried. "Brother Zi, let's go quickly. The fire is spreading." Shen Zi pulled her toward the balcony, when suddenly someone grabbed his pant leg. Zhou Xiang lay weakly on the ground, his mouth opening and closing as if saying, "Don't leave me behind." Looking into those eyes desperate to survive, Shen Zi felt a flicker of pity. "Hurry, it's too late." He gritted his teeth, shook off Zhou Xiang, and jumped from the second-floor balcony with the woman. Landing on the lawn, they suffered minor injuries. When firefighters rescued Zhou Xiang, he had already stopped breathing. Zhou Xiang was dead. The love of the abusive novel male lead awakened at this moment. Staring at the body, Shen Zi felt at a loss. Dead. How could this be? Although he had always wanted Zhou Xiang to die, he had not expected it to happen. Shen Zi remembered the past. Zhou Xiang had forced him, but he had also loved him. He had given him endless money, supreme favor, and absolute trust. Otherwise, Shunzi would not have so easily taken over the company. Zhou Xiang had loved him so deeply. He suddenly hugged the corpse, tears streaming down. Zhou Xiang, I haven't finished ball for you. You're not allowed to die. You haven't seen me have children with other women. How dare you die? How can you die without my permission? Passers-by tried to console him. The dead cannot be brought back. Please accept your loss. Get away. Shunzi shouted. He's not dead. When the news broke that the former president of Zhou Corporation had died in a fire, and his lover Shunzi had wept over the body, I was attending Zhang Jing and Lu Qingyuan's wedding. In recent years, Zhang Jing's paintings had won multiple awards, and Lu Qingyuan had applied the previously researched chip to AI robots, thriving in his career. Without Shunzi's suppression, my family's company was also operating normally. In the lounge, Zhang Jing took my hand and placed it gently on her belly. Yeah, you're going to be a godmother soon. When did this happen? I asked in Jingxi. Just over a month ago. I haven't told Qingyan yet. I plan to surprise him. Zhang Jing was an orphan, and although she had Lu Qingyuan's company, she had always longed for a blood relative. From then on, we all had bright futures. After Zhou Xiang's death, Shunzi indulged in alcohol daily, no longer going to the office and searching for Zhou Xiang's doubles. None of them were the real Zhou Xiang. Zhou Xiang, although I hated you, I never wanted you to die. Although I poisoned you, I never wanted you to die. Although I saved others in the fire, I never wanted you to die. Shunzi suddenly remembered Zhou Xiang's words. Shunzi, what if you have wealth and power? I curse you to lose your loved ones forever. He laughed wildly. How could you be so cruel? You really made me lose the person I loved most. The next afternoon, after a night of drinking, Shunzi left the bar. Suddenly, two deranged people rushed out from the roadside and stabbed him in the chest with a knife. If one looked closely, they would recognize them as Zhou Xiang's parents. After Shunzi fell into despair and relaxed security at the psychiatric hospital, the Zhou couple had escaped and learned of their son's death, determined to avenge him. As he fell, the chip in Shunzi's brain suddenly malfunctioned, causing his memories to chaos. He wondered how he had ended up like this. Wasn't I supposed to take revenge on the Bai family? I wanted Bai Yu to live a life worse than death and grovel before me. Why has it become me who suffers? He never got to understand, for he closed his eyes forever. Thus ended the story of the two male leads. Throughout, many parts caused strong discomfort, for example, Shunzi acting as a kept man and cooking for Zhou Xiang. Zhou Xiang caring more about marrying Shunzi than his parents' safety during revenge. Shunzi suddenly falling in love with Zhou Xiang after his death, forgetting the abuse. These parts felt irrational and disturbing. Yet if a female lead were inserted into each role, it would seem natural. This mindset is pathological. Certain plots are no more reasonable when applied to women than to men. The end.